Well, we're wrapping up our last day at the RV Entrepreneurs Summit. It's been a fantastic week. I've made so many friends. I think that's what's best about these kind of events is just the community they get to meet, the people. I've spent, well, pretty much till midnight every night hanging around the campfire, meeting new people and learning their stories and where they plan to travel next, what they plan to do with their business, you know, what their kids are up to. And, you know, it's been everything from families to solo travelers. I think last night I spent with a whole group of people in their 20s and 30s who are traveling by themselves, and more power to them. I'm not even sure that's something I would do. And I mean, I've traveled around the world, but I think being in an RV by yourself is a whole new ball game, and more power to them for doing that. I think it's a fantastic group, and it was fun to hear their stories and why they're choosing to do what they do.
So if you don't know where you're going or what to do next, if you're ever sitting there and you're like feeling that uncertainty that life gives you all the time, like, do this, do that, or just keep sitting here. Your passion that's in your heart, that's going to lead you to where you should go, what your next move should be. I mean, some of you have to be passionate about traveling, just some of you, right? Passionate about having freedom, passionate about enjoying your family and being on the road, and that got you here. So keep following that, and you're always going to wind up where you're supposed to be.
But for Mark and I, it was, what's important to us? What can we do that only we can do? Just a little piece of us that we can expand on.
And what's meaningful to us, if we're going to pursue a project, is it meaningful to us, and is it something we really want to do?
Yeah.
And that's how we've defined significance.
Well, one of the things I got out of this week here at the RV Entrepreneur Summit is that within the RV community, which we've talked about before, is really great. It's really supportive. One of the things, though, that you find is there are so many different circumstances. There are so many people that come from different backgrounds, and they come from different places, and they're all in different places in their lives now. And that's why you have such a variety of rigs that people are traveling in, from, you know, giant Class A's down to the Class B's, like the vans that we're in. We've got somebody here that's in a tent and they're riding a Harley. So, you know, you get a little bit of everything, and yet nobody's ever judgmental. It's all just, hey, what's your current situation? And that's great. And the thing is, there's no perfect rig for everyone or perfect setup for everyone. So it's really more about what works for you at that moment or that stage of your life. And everybody around you might be thinking to themselves, I could never travel that way. Like, I don't think, in some ways, traveling on a Harley and using a tent is kind of neat. I don't think I could do it long term.
I mean, I know people that have. I mean, maybe 2 weeks here or there, but well, I think that's what they're doing too. They're not full time. They're just going out for adventures.
Right. They're not full timing on a Harley in a tent, just to be clear. But it's still kind of interesting. So you got people that might think to themselves, I could never travel that way, but they still are really supportive of the people who are traveling that way. And to me,
it's just the community.
This whole week really reaffirmed for me what this community is about and what this lifestyle can be about. And, you know, if you haven't tried it, get out there and try it and see what you can find when you're out there.
RVing isn't about any particular length of time or what it is. I mean, some people are weekend warriors, some people are part-timers, some people are some-timers, and some people are full-timing. And whether you're a solo traveler or whether you're a family of 9, you know, pick what works for you. I think that's been great to see this week. It's been a little bit of everything. And, you know, if you can only get out for a weekend, get out for a weekend. Go to your local state park. Go to a local Jellystone. You know, go find a national park. Do what works for you. You know, that's how we got into this lifestyle. I mean, it was just like, where can we go in northern Michigan and get out in the woods? And, you know, now here we are in Alabama and it's really awesome state park here, and meeting all sorts of new people that are doing the exact same thing we are.
We've been at Lake Guntersville State Park Campground all week for the RV Entrepreneur Summit. And I think one of the best things about the summit this year is that it brought us to Alabama. It brought us to an amazing state park. And unfortunately, I think people would say, what state has wonderful state parks and beautiful state parks? And I don't think Alabama would show up on most people's lists, which I think is unfortunate, because look at what we found this week. The trail to the lodge from the campground isn't straight up. Well, in parts of it, it's kind of straight up, because the lodge is quite a bit higher up on the mountain or the hill here by Lake Guntersville. But when you're on this trail, They do a number of switchbacks, so it gives you a little bit of a reprieve to take a breather. And there's some great views of the lake, so you can stop along the way, catch your breath, and just enjoy all the sights and sounds. No matter what state we're in, it wouldn't be a walk in the woods without having to take a break and wait for Jessie to check out some cool bugs she found, or take a picture of a flower, or whatever. But it's cool. It's, you know, all part of being in nature. If you're not going to enjoy it, what's the point of being out here? Go ahead, you can say it. No matter what state we're in, it wouldn't be a hike somewhere if Ari wasn't stopping to take video.
This is true.
So,
oh, hold on. Let me get the shot. Stay there. Run down the hill. Run up the hill. Oh, look, pretty lake. I mean, I'm not one to talk. I do it with pictures, but, you know.
So
this makes the hike a couple times longer.
Touche.
Yeah.
Up toward the lodge in the trees, you'll see things that look almost like tree stands. And that's part of the zip line course here they have at the state park lodge. Level 2 is, I think, $100 a person, and it's 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good chunk of time, and it's they said it's obviously the advanced course, so definitely can't be afraid of heights for that one.
The zip line course here has zip lines, obviously, through the trees, but there's also areas where you're climbing towers, and I think there's some rope bridges in certain areas. There is a level 1 that's a little lower down, and a level 2. But if you have the time and the money and the stomach for it, I think I'd go for level 2, because some of the views from up in the trees must just be outstanding.
Oh my gosh, this place has been amazing. I had absolutely no idea that this was here. Hey guys. You have got some local kids over here selling firewood. Say hi, guys. Hi.
It's an RV entrepreneur summit, and you guys are being entrepreneurs, right? So what are you selling?
Wood. Firewood.
Firewood. And do you have a good market? Are people buying?
Yeah. Not yet. We just opened.
You just opened for today, but they've been buying while you've been here?
Actually, after we closed for a good chunk, because those people in Winnebago over there stole our idea.
Oh no! How much are you charging?
It's $3 for 5 pieces, and if you want 10, it's $5.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to be back. We'll come back around.
Well,
Good luck.
and if you want, you might want to come back with the truck.
Okay. Thanks.
Come back with a
Good
truck so we
advice.
can buy more, because you know it's all about supply and demand. So if you're going to be an RV entrepreneur, you figure out what you can sell that people might need. These guys have it figured out, right? So
Right. I mean, you go to State Park, you're always looking for firewood. I can't tell you how many times we've showed up somewhere and been like, oh crap, we forgot to get wood. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow. But back to the state parks. And this Lake Guntersville State Park has been awesome. It's got a zip line. It's got all sorts of hiking and biking trails. It's got a huge lake for fishing. There's a lot of campsites, but also there's some cabins that you can rent. So again, if you don't have a trailer yet, or you don't want to sleep in a tent, this is another example of a park that has cabins that you can rent as well, so you can get your family out there. And there's a lodge, so if you just want like more of like a hotel room, there's a lodge that you can rent. And it's also got meeting rooms, so if you're somebody that's got a business and you're looking for a corporate retreat or a girls' weekend or something, you can, rent space up in the lodge, and I think that's really cool. I don't think we have any state parks in Michigan really that you can do that.
well, and the lodge is way up on the hill or the mountain, depending on what part of the country you're in. I suppose you'd call it something different. But there's some beautiful decks that are there that they have both for the rooms and just in general at the lodge. And we have seen some amazing sunsets this week, so it's a great place to kind of just hang out and relax and enjoy the area.
We talk a lot about in this channel about getting out, going for a trek, and just enjoying nature. I think one of the biggest takeaways that I learned this week was you do you. It doesn't matter what that means. Maybe it's weekend warrior, maybe it's full time, but you do you. What is it that you really like? I met some people here this week that their goal is to visit the highest elevation in every state. That was a new goal that I'd never heard about, and I think that's really awesome. And I learned what the highest point in Michigan was, because I didn't even know. They had to tell me. So I thought that was really cool. There's people that are hiking the Appalachian Trail. There are people that are visiting all the state parks or the national parks. There are people that are disc golfing everywhere they go. There are people that are surfboarding everywhere they go. It's what your passion is and what kind of trek and exploration that you want to go on. And I think that's really important. It is really the you do you mentality. And as we go around in our treks, you know, we obviously want to share them with you and show you what there is to offer, but I'm just as curious to hear about what everybody else's treks are too. You know, leave a comment, tell us what's your goal, what's your trek for the year, where do you want to go and where do you want it to take you?
As we often like to say, keep on trekking. So get out there and do your trek. We've met people, like you said, that have hiked the Appalachian Trail. We're not ready to do that yet, but a lot of people look at us and think, oh, they must be really great hikers. Yeah, we enjoy hiking. We're not quite ready for the AT. But
Maybe someday.
We're gonna do what we can do. So what is your trek? What is that accomplishment you want to have? What is that thing you've thought about doing, but you're being held back for some reason? And maybe it's in your own head. So if you say it out loud, maybe leave it in the comments here. Just find a good friend or a family member and say it out loud to them. Because once you say it out loud, it becomes more real and tangible. And you can start to figure out what is it that's holding you back. And you might just find out it's you. And if it is you, you're easy. You can convince yourself to do something easier than convincing other people. So figure out what it is you want to do and get trekking.